Hello, greetings from Africa Online Media Corporation. We are always delighted to be with you, and we look forward to having you throughout the 90 minutes of the show. Africa Media Corporation, Africa Online Media Corporation, coming to you from the world. And of course, you know that we love you and you love us. It is June 19. It is Juneteenth in the United States. Happy Juneteenth to all those people of the same color like myself or something like it who celebrate this day because it was an important day. It is also June 19th. It is the third Sunday in the month of June, the day we give shout outs to our parents. If you are joining Africa Online Media Corporation and you don't know how to do it on your Zoom, just type in 514-199-854 and you will find us. We are also on Zoom, we are on Facebook, and of course, you can get us wherever you are on the continent. That being said, we are here today to give shout outs to those who are called fathers. It could not be your biological father, it might not be your biological father, it could just be that significant individual who came into your life when you were growing up or when you grew up and needed a shoulder to lean on. We'll talk more about that. So that being said, we go now with the editorial. As I tell myself, Happy Father's Day. Yes, June 19, 2022 is the 170th day of the year 2022. There are 195 days left until the year ends. It is the 25th Sunday of 2022 on a 26th week count. It is the 92nd day of spring, and yes, there are only 2 days left until summer. Yes, after tomorrow, summer comes in on the 21st. So that being said, let us keep going. This, as I said, is June 19. It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Today is June 19th. It is Juneteenth, the celebration of that day back in history when that decree, or call it a decree, at Emancipation Proclamation was signed 2 years before, but it finally reached Texas and became known as Juneteenth, and it is celebrated as, they call it, the second National Independence Day for Americans. After all, the country is made up largely of people of two colors, basically, but there are many others. We're not talking politics here. We're just saying Happy Juneteenth to all those who celebrate this day. And today, June 19th, is also, take note, Martini Day. Well, I don't drink that. It is not on my menu, but it is National Menu Day in the United States. But we will not be having any martini, as I just said, around our table, even as we follow tradition and celebrate fathers on this third Sunday in June. Father's Day is always celebrated on the third Sunday in June. Africa Online Media Corporation, in particular, and on this day, provides us, all of us, wherever you come from, wherever you live on the globe, we give you the opportunity to give a shout out to that significant male in your life, in the family, or in the community, because as someone said, you never really outgrow the need for a father. That is, you never outgrow the need for that significant someone. Yes, whatever you conceive him to be, a dad, a papa, a father, remains that. Just someone who holds you when you cry, scolds you when you break the rules, shines with pride when you succeed, and has faith in you even when you fall. A father may not necessarily be biological. He may not have contributed to your being here today, but he came into your life when you needed a hand to lift you up, or someone who came into your life when you needed a shoulder on which to lean and to get strength for all the good and not the so good in your life. On Father's Day 2022, we take a quick look back at something we said 5 years ago in a similar circumstance. Among other things, we said Houston, Texas mega church preacher and author Joel Austin tells us in one of his publications, Your Best Life, to speak words of blessing to our children, because such words have great meaning and make great impact on the children as they grow up. Joel Austin intimates that speaking such words as, quote, "I love you, I believe in you, I think you are great," or "there's nobody else like you," to our children, if we speak such words to our children, it is not just inspiring, it is motivating. It can make a difference in a child's life. As our first teachers, our parents, particularly our fathers, were or are the greatest motivators in our lives. The first people to whom we should, like Prince Nkemleke, one of our Cameroonian musicians, once said, he died unfortunately in a motorcycle accident in Calabar. He once said, "Thank you, Papa. Today na your Papa day. Oh, thank you, Papa." I'm not a good singer, so don't worry about that. But Nkemleke said, "Thank you, Father." So as we celebrate Father's Day today, the words of an inspiring writer came back to my mind, and we quote, it's quite a long one. "A dad is someone who wants to catch you before you fall, but instead picks you up, brushes you off, and lets you try again. A dad is someone who wants to keep you from making mistakes, but instead lets you find your own way, even though his heart breaks in silence when you get hurt. A dad is someone who holds you when you cry, scolds you when you break the rules, shines with pride when you succeed, and has faith in you when you fall. Yes, a dad is everything to someone and nothing to others, an interrogator to some, but a comforter to many, a role model to some, but in some children's thinking, the incarnation of evil, the best of friends, and the worst of frenemies, whatever you want to say. As already said, a father is that individual that worried for so much for you, his child. Yes, so it is but right for all of us to give that shout out to them, to him, to that particular individual you found in your life, who is still in your life, who worries when you are not home when you should be, or when you don't call back when you ought to have. So whatever it is, happy Father's Day to all of us, men, and to all the ladies who support the men as they support the children to grow up into men and begin their own stream of fatherhood, because the stream has to flow whatever we do. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. We turn now over to the chair of Africaonline, Reverend Pam, to welcome us on the show this Sunday.
Wow, Niason. First of all, let me thank my Heavenly Father first for waking us up this morning, for always being there for me, and my dad and my father, the best father and dad that ever walked this planet, Prince Gabriel Fomunung, Ningma Fomunung. You can see him in my background. Tall, dark, handsome, peaceful, intelligent, GQ guy, very neat guy, never wore a wrinkled shirt in his life. I'm telling you, I can go on and on about my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. I don't apologize at all. And I have 7 brothers, Joseph, well, let me call them by their traditional name, Ni Sabum, Ni Bobga, Ni Wop, Tita Ningwa, Tita Nguket, Samgina, and Fokum. Those are my 7 biological brothers. I'm giving them a shout out today. I have a lot of nephews, so I can't even try. Ania, so I want to come to you because you are an amazing father and grandfather, and I hope very soon great-grandfather. You have been married to the same woman for 100 years, and you look like you are in your 50s. God has given you a good life. You're going to live to be 3 digits, and you will still be doing this show at 120. The only time that you'll be allowed not to be on this show is on your 120th birthday, which at that time you're permitted to go meet your maker. You know, I enjoy working with you. I know you have family, but you still press your way to be here. So we appreciate you on behalf of Africaonline Media Corporation. But Ronald, I want to wish you happy Father's Day. Fathers are not just people that have biological children. You have mentored a lot of people. I don't know them, but God knows them. Thank you so much. So we want to wish all our brothers, all our nephews, all our sons, even the in-laws, and of course our fathers, grandfathers and great-grandfathers, a very, very blessed, happy Father's Day. It's actually a double celebration today, Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to all our people. I watched a Dreamland last night on CNN, and I was devastated. But I was grateful that God gave us resilience. We cannot be broken. We cannot be defeated. We cannot be stopped. We are untouchable. And no matter what the enemy brings, our people will always rise and will always succeed. And we are beginning to love each other. We are beginning to collaborate. We are beginning to push each other, lift each other. We're not tearing down people anymore. So let's forget about the crap in the barrel mentality, enough of all that negativity. Let's look at the number of our people that are working together. And at the top of the hour, I'll be talking more about some of those. But I want to do a shout out to especially our African American and African fathers around the globe. With everything that the enemy has tried for centuries to destroy you, to break your will, you have succeeded, and you continue to shine, and you continue to soar. You continue to soar, S-O-A-R, not the other one. So we want to say we are proud of you, and God will continue to bless you. You will continue to take your place in the society. You continue to take your place in the household. Don't let anybody put you down. And to all my beautiful sisters out there and daughters and nieces, let's bless all the men in our life. Let's encourage them. Let's tell them how good they are. Let's be their pillar and their support system. Let's hold their hands up as Aaron and Hur held the hands of Moses. Because when we hold their hands up, they will succeed. Let them not go look for help outside. Let us be their biggest cheerleaders and their biggest fans and support system. Over to you, Nielsen.
Thank you very much. Near Ronald, welcome and happy Father's Day to you. I will just start with you. We're three of us on the show for now. What does it mean to you when they say Father's Day? Is it just another phrase, another occasion for us to get together and cheer each other up? Or is there a deeper meaning to Father's Day to you?
There's a deeper meaning to Father's Day to me, because the men have strived for many years to be good protectors and providers of their family. Sometimes they may fall down, but they usually get back up. And there were strong men in my family, in particular my grandfather, who took care of 9 children. And he was able to provide for us. He was able to work, even though Jim Crow was very rampant in the city of Philadelphia and in the United States at large during the 50s and 60s. But he was able to provide for us, and he never forgot even his grandchildren's birthday. He always sent us a card and would put $2 in, because $2 was a lot back in the 60s. But other than that, yes, Father's Day has been very meaningful and deep for me.
Thank you very much. Reverend Pam, I know you already gave a shout out to your dad and your brothers and all the others, but I know there are still people in your life who have touched you in a fatherly way, to whom you want to say, thank you, Papa, thank you, Father, for all you did to be sure that I became the woman I am today.
Yes, thank you so much. One of such men, there are others, but one of such men I would like to honor during the show is my pastor, my spiritual father. When I came to the ministry, I did not even know the meaning of amen. I knew it was something that we said at the end of a prayer. I really did not know what it stood for. I didn't know it meant so be it. I was familiar with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Acts of the Apostles, because that was what was required for GCE or general certificate education, ordinary levels. But I can say boldly that I know a little bit about the 66 books of the Bible, and that I have gone through the Bible a few times, cover to cover, because of the ministry. So I want to give a shout out to my spiritual dad, Apostle Dr. Steve Adams. You know, I thank God for his life. I thank God for using him to teach me the Bible, the Word of God, and for God to be able to call somebody like me. God has a sense of humor. I was not one of those people that had a servant mentality. I was not. I put myself on a pedestal, and God had to bring me down to earth. And now God has put me on a pedestal. So it's good to be on God's pedestal, not your own. So I want to thank, I have a lot of men to thank. I don't want to mention their name. And the men in my private life, you know, I don't want to broadcast them on this show. You know, some of you know who they are, but I'm not going to broadcast them or call their names on this show. But they know how much I love and I appreciate them, you know. And like I say, I do have a lot of nephews that I would like to acknowledge, but my family is too big. So, but my father, oh my God. So my father was, you know, the only way I survived my father's passing in 2012 was to focus on thanking God for blessing me with such an amazing human being. My dad had 14 children, biological children, but my dad raised hundreds of children, including all the maids, the houseboys, they were like his children. We don't have one person that worked for my dad or worked for us that did not have a career. My dad made sure they learned something. They ate the same food that we ate. They slept in the same kind of bed, even though there was a boys' quarters, you know, they were treated as, you know, children, you know. So we have received a special treatment in our lives because of our parents, my dad and my mom, you know. So my dad was just such an amazing man. He was a man in authority, but he never abused his power. He never did. So I don't want to make this about my dad, you know. So I see Brother Alfred is back. His audio is connected. So Brother Alfred, happy Father's Day. Let's hear from you. Brother Alfred is Brother Ronald's younger brother. So Brother Alfred, we would like to hear from you. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got my mic muted.
Good.
I'm kind of new to Zoom.
Okay.
Apologies.
No apologies.
No problem. We learn every day. We learn every day.
So what does Father's Day mean to you, Brother Alfred?
Father's Day is something. It's a man-made holiday, I think, by America. But I think Father's Day should be honored every day.
Yes.
I think it should be honored every day because men should take care of their children. I don't have any children, but men should take care of their children every day, not just honored for it one day.
Yes.
Thank you, Brother Alfred, and welcome to the show. Just stay on. We will continue the show. Personally, on a personal note, I have to give a shout out to my dad, who's been gone since 1983. 1982, actually, 1982. But may he rest in peace in the Father's bosom, and I know he is. I have uncles in my village, in my vernacular. We don't have the word for uncle or cousin or nephew. We have father. They are all fathers. So I have to give out a shout out to all of them. The first of whom also has gone to be with the Lord since 1974, Mr. Micah Tabang. And of course, there is Brother Professor Alucius Amin. He's in Georgia now. He's in Atlanta now. And all the other cousins and uncles who, in one way or the other, influenced my growing up. And I grew up to be who I am because Professor Aloysius Amin took me to the capital, Yaoundé, and I studied from advanced levels and became a student, then a journalist who has what has impacted my life for the past several years. And when I got up this morning, last night, I was celebrating my latest grandchild. He had his birthday. I forgot his birthday, but the family reminded me and brought the show to the house. So I've hardly slept, but all the same, I rejoice and I'm glad because I am not just a father, as Reverend Pam said, I'm also a grandfather. And who knows, my first grandchild is a girl and she's growing up. So we never know, maybe sooner rather than later, we'll be having great grandchildren.
And you forgot to mention that you're a father of 5 boys.
Yes, I'm father of 5 boys and grandfather of 6, 1 girl, 5 boys so far, and the family is growing. I keep telling, when my colleagues at work ask me, I say, I came to this country, we were 7 of us, but now we're 13. So I'm doing the job of the creator. I'm procreating and helping to multiply. Thank you very much. And is this still Brother Alfred, or is it a different look of him?
That's him.
No, that's still. I had my contact picture up.
Yes.
And I just figured out how to come on live.
That's right. You're welcome. You're welcome. So please, whatever it is, even if you don't have children, you mentor children. That is something we need, and I think we lack and we need in our community, because some children go astray, not because they lack, not because they want to, but because they lack that father figure in their lives who can say, oh no, if you jump too high, you'll fall and break your neck. Jump at this level, jump at this height, and you'll stay the course and still win the race. So Brother Alfred, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, like to mentor a lot of, because before my career in the hotel business, I worked with children, about 20 kids in a kindergarten atmosphere. And I still see them as today as grown men. And they said I had a good influence on their life as being their assistant teacher.
You see?
That is great. That is great. So
you probably change the trajectory of their lives, you know?
Exactly. That's what the point I'm trying to make.
Children don't forget. Children do not forget.
Yes.
You do
20
good,
years later, they didn't forget.
Oh, they will never forget. You do good, they'll remember. You do bad, they'll remember. They might not say it, but they will remember. Children don't forget. And at this point, I want to just take an opportunity to urge every man out there. Adopt a child. I'm not talking about legally. Mentor a child. Take a child under your wings, especially a child who doesn't have a father figure at home. We know in our community, especially the African American community, a lot of households are missing the head of the households. A lot of them. And these children are being brought up by the mothers who can not be a father to them, no matter how hard they try. So pick a young man. You never know. That young man might become the next Black president of the United States. You never know. It doesn't take much. Nobody's saying spend money or send them to school. No.
Right.
Just speak good, positive words into their life. Let them know they are worth something. Let them know you acknowledge them, you recognize them. Let them know they are a human being. Let them know they can do whatever they want to do. I'm talking about legal stuff now. They can study any subject. They can excel in the law of human performance that our director of STEM always talk about, Dr. Diola. You know, that there's nothing like somebody who was born smart or dumb. You know, you just need to give them the right environment and let them practice over and over, and they'll become an expert. There's no dumb person out there. Anybody who comes across as dumb is lazy. I'm sorry. So our people can do anything. We've had our chief medical advisor here, Dr. Ogoji. I would like to do a shout out to him. You know, Dr. Kingsley Ogoji. He has, I think, 3 children. Amazing father, amazing doctor, amazing team member. You know, he sponsors a lot of children in his village. You know, but you see, a lot of our people out there, they just feel like, even Kim being who he is, there are times when people see him, they think he's either a maintenance guy or somebody that works in some other department besides being the obstetric and gynecologist.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he doesn't look it, but just because of the skin, the color of his skin.
Yeah.
We've had a situation where, my pastor was even sharing this the other day, where he chartered a plane, to go meet some business people, and they kept looking for the owner of the person who chartered the plane because they were looking for a white person. They did not realize that, a black man could do that. I have been present when we went to a restaurant. This was many years ago, in a Rolls Royce Phantom, and there was a guest there. The only white man in the Phantom was a guest, and the person from the hotel, the restaurant, came and was greeting the guest and admiring the Phantom. And the guest said, "Oh no, I'm just a passenger. That's the owner, and the owner was my pastor." So it was just stereotype things. So I want to encourage our brothers. You don't have to. Basketball is good, but sports is not the only outlet for our young men. You can be a surgeon. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be a journalist, like our professor here, Professor Nia Song. You can be whoever you want. And if they fire you on a job, go and build yourself and come back and buy that company and make the manager that fire you beg for an employment.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. And talking about being a professor, I mean, I'm surprised that many years after I taught them at a university to be journalists, many of them still fall back to me. I received a ton of greetings this past week about Happy Father's Day, especially as they know that in my practice of journalism in Cameroon, I had a slot on the radio that I call Dear Grandpa. It was a slot meant for the average Cameroonian, addressing my concerns of the average Cameroonian to the average Cameroonian and letting leadership know that the people needed good leadership to be able to progress. But that landed me in water, but I'm happy. My former students call me Grandpa. They send me greetings, they contact me, they negotiate. They encourage me to continue to be who I am, who I've been in their lives. And the encouragement I gave them, talking about mentoring, Brother Ronald and Brother Alfred, it's good to be a mentor to somebody, even if you don't know their background. Just pick them, put them under your wing, talk to them, encourage them, show them the ropes, and teach them how to manipulate those ropes to be able to be someone tomorrow, because we never know, as Reverend Pam said, who will become what tomorrow. It is very important. Mentorship, very, very important, and a great aspect of life, especially for anybody who's grown up, who, even if not a father, but who is a father figure in his own right, who has taught somebody or who has done something to which to look back to. And then it is important to make sure that we let whoever we come across learn that it is not by being fishy in life that you succeed. It is by being plain. Open your life up, and of course, entrust everything to that person upstairs who you don't see, but who is there inspiring you and encouraging you, giving you the life. Because many young people think that everything is just what they see. But then there is somebody upstairs who is performing the role of father to all of us, ensuring that we go to bed and get up the next day strong and healthy to continue the journey. Brother Ronald?
Yes. I agree with you, Nia-san, that a person, even if they don't have any children, a man should try to mentor those who are coming up, especially the men and the young kids, the boys and girls. Now, one example I was taken care of as far as like mentoring was my father. He used to always question us about going to school. He used to look after us. And when we have a math problem, we used to say 2 and 2 equal 4. And he corrected us and say, no, 2 and 2 equals 22. 2 plus 2 equals
Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah,
laughing because I remember that.
he was very wise with us, and he always took care of us. But
Yes.
he was a very strong role model. He was somewhat strict, but that strictness was good. Put the good uses. None of his children got in trouble or went to jail. We did good for our life, and right now we living comfortable and doing well for ourselves.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know, and yeah, so when me and my siblings, we sit and we are just still in awe as to how our dad was able to give us an upper middle class life, you know. As a civil servant, we know he invested in real estate, but this man was amazing. At night, he made sure he did his rounds to talk us into bed, made sure. It didn't matter which child. If a child was sick, my dad would drop everything. I remember when I was 15 years old and I had tonsillitis, my dad took leave of absence from the government, went to Yaoundé with me. I was in a military hospital in Yaoundé called Garnison. I had surgery there. We were there for 1 month. My dad abandoned everything. And if it was up to him, he would be at my bedside 24/7. But his siblings would not, you know, let him spend the night in the hospital. That's the kind of father he was, you know, and we don't understand. He made each and every one of us, all 14 of us, feel like we were only child. How was he able to give us that kind of attention? I was so attached to my dad that while I was in school, 1 month, if I don't see my dad, I'll get sick and the school bus will take me home. As soon as I see my dad, I'll feel better. And then the police vehicle will take me back to school. That was how attached I was to my dad. You know, and that's why when he passed away, everybody was worried if I was going to survive. Because to be honest, even my dad had lived to be Methuselah's age, I still would not be ready to let him go. But you know, when you realize that, you know, there is another father that is a father to the fatherless, and that's God Almighty, then you can survive. So I want to encourage all those who have lost the men in their life, fathers. You know, there is another father that you may not see physically, but in Hebrews 13:5, you say, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He's always there. And the Holy Ghost is always here with us. I'm not going to preach, so don't be scared. But I just want to encourage, you know, and if you see a young man in trouble, if you are in law enforcement, even if you give them a ticket or you arrest them, try to talk to them as a human being. That child may just, your words may just be what would turn that child to the right direction. Your words. You know, I mean, they have to pay for the crime. You do the crime, you do the time. But what then? What next? What? Let it be, as Barack Obama say, a teachable moment. What kind of lesson can you teach them? Help them learn from that experience. You know, if you see a child in your community, they don't dress well, don't be gossiping their name. Try and advise them. Or if you don't feel comfortable advising them, talk to somebody who can advise them. They don't badmouth them. Because if you do that, then you are worse than the person. Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes, talking about it, teachers should not forget that they are, after the father in the home, they are the next male or female in the life of a student in school, especially the male teachers. I work in elementary school. I see some of the teachers who really go out 100% to make sure that those students who run out of the classroom, who don't want to come to school because they're afraid of being bullied or something else, they talk to them, they take them under their wings, and before the semester is over, you see that child making a U-turn and becoming much better than they had ever been. So the role of a male person in the life of a child is very important. There's this child who came to school and started crying in class because he turned around, there were only little children like himself, and then there was no male in the classroom. There was a female teacher and a female assistant, and she was like, oh, but what is wrong here? There are only women here. So he started crying, and they came to him and asked him, what is the problem? He said, I miss my daddy. So they had to bring a male teacher into the classroom for that day and realize that absolutely this child needed the presence of a male in the room for him to function normally. That was a life changer for this kid. And this kid is graduating next year. He passed to 5th grade this year. So he'll be graduating elementary school next year. This is something positive that has happened in the life of a child because a male person was able to touch his life, to speak to him, to mentor him during break, during lunch, and so on. And this child has made substantial progress.
Well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's my first job was as an assistant teacher, and it's very important to have a male person, a male teacher in the class, like you were saying. A lot of schools and daycares and stuff, they don't have, like you said, enough male teachers in there. Half of my class didn't have a father in their home. And I was their father. I was the next up to be their father because they didn't have that in the classroom. So I understand exactly what you're talking about. Yes. They begged me to, oh, please, we need a male teacher in this class to be a role model to these young boys and girls.
Yes. It's very, very important. And I see our chief medical officer is zooming in. He's coming in, Dr. Ogoji. I don't know if it's already arrived, but
yes, he just needs to unmute himself.
Okay, Dr. Ogoji, you are welcome to the show.
Father's Day.
Great mentor.
I gave you a shout out before you came.
Yeah,
so this is the guy I was doing a shout out to, Dr. Kingsley Ogoji. That's our chief medical advisor. You know, the one I was saying had 3 children, Dr. Ogoji?
Yes, 3, yes.
You see,
okay. Welcome to the show. We're almost missing
Father's
you.
Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you,
Reverend
thank you.
Reverend Pam did not fail to give a shout out to you. And
I cannot.
You made it to the show.
That's my beloved brother.
How many children did you deliver before coming in the show today?
Just one.
Just one. That's something. That's something. Okay.
So I met somebody father today.
Yes. We're giving shout out to our
father today. That's true.
Yes. So it is your turn now to give a shout out to yourself first, of course, and then to all the fathers who have passed through your life or who have been involved in your upbringing. Dr. Ogoji.
Well, all I say, fatherhood is a very special position that they have their role to play, and we have to make sure play them very, very well. In those days when families were together most of the time, things were different compared to nowadays that most kids are being raised by a single mother. So we know that times have changed, and then no matter what happened, what I want to tell moms and people is that even if you don't get along with the father, no matter how bad the father is, unless he's abusing you and the children, let them play their role as a father, because their role cannot be replaced by any other person.
Awesome.
We all have only one father.
Touchdown.
Yeah. We all have only one father. Our father will be our father. Stepfather can never be father. So although we have so many fathers that can fit in the shoe to help raise us, but biological father is only one. And I tell people, no matter what you do, there are 2 people in this life that will never get jealous of you. Your mom and your dad. These 2 people always want you to be bigger than them, more smarter than them, richer than them, explore the world more than them. Any other person, I don't care. Your wife, your brother, your siblings, your sister, your auntie. At one point, you say, no, I wish there'll be some element of jealousy. So that means the role of the father and the role of the father is always there. So let's we allow the fathers to do their job. At the same time, we fathers should know that gone are those days whereby you just give money, go buy clothes, go buy shoe, cook for the mom. So children nowadays are different from our own time. Our own time, we understand that my father pay my school fees, my mother do the rest. But now children are being taught that you need to get to know your parents. If you have no impact in them, impact is not money. So you have to come down to the basis to develop that relationship with your children as a father. For me personally, I make sure that I get involved with my kids. I play with them. I go to places with them. Sometimes
you make pancakes for them.
Yeah. Sometimes intentionally go without their mom for some reason. Mom say, "You want to come?" No, it's okay. Thank you. I said, "Let's go without their mom." That way they can have that personal, unfiltered relationship with me at that time.
Yes.
So, and I tell every father, make sure that when your kids grow up, or when if you're not around, there should be something that your kids will say, "Oh, if that was around, this will not happen."
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in Nigeria for 1 month, there are things my kids miss, and they tell me about it, and that makes me happy. That means there's something I'm doing for them that only me can do.
Yes.
If you go away for vacation for 1 week, 2 weeks, and the kids only miss your presence and don't miss anything particular that, oh, if that was here, this is gonna happen, this will have happened, then you need to go down to make that special moment with them. You must find a thing that only you will be doing to them, so they know that this is daddy's stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, they will never forget that encounter. Because life's all about memory.
Children
The mothers
never
already have the impact, the breastfeeding and the time is gone with their mom. You have to work extra hard to establish that relationship with your own children. So at the same time, as we celebrate our own fathers and our own self, any other person who's a father figure for you also have to respect, because they say it takes a village to raise a child. We all have some different fathers. But one biological father, other fathers will help us. Thank you.
Right. Sister Ruth says it takes a village to raise a child, but not a village of idiots. So,
yes. Should be a village of counselors, a village of people who know what they are doing, so they're able to transfer that knowledge to the children, so that the children grow up responsibly, so that the children grow up knowing their left from their right and being ready to step forward and become role models in society and become father figures and become, of course, people who set the pace and make life go round. Yes, Brother Alfred?
Yes, that is so true, because like 20 I've been out of the business 20 years later. I still see like the kids that I used to mentor and teach and stuff, and they say, "Oh, I didn't you were such an influence on my life," and I didn't realize how much of an influence I was in their life. They say, "You taught me this, you taught me that, you taught me how to be a man, and now I am a good man and I got a good job."
Random acts of kindness. I got a very touching text from a church member the other day. She went to her school reunion. I'm just saying, when we do things, little things we do, we never know, the impact. Apparently, I had blessed her with an outfit, which I don't remember, because when I give things to people, I don't remember. And she wore it to our 50th school reunion. 50. She sent me the picture. She's like, everybody was talking about her, how beautiful she looked, her outfit and all that. To be honest with you, I just said, "You're welcome," but I don't even remember giving her that dress. Just like another classmate of mine told me, when we were pre-teens in school, the only new clothes she got were from me, because all she had were hand-me-downs from her. And I didn't know that at the time. So I say this to say, Dr. Ogoji took that thing, right after because that was what I was going to say before he came on board, about the women, not allowing men to be in the children's life. A mother can never play the role of a father. I was going to say, woman, no matter how much money you think you make, your money cannot buy a father to your children.
Exactly.
It can never buy, money can never be a father. Someone once said that no matter how much money you have, you can never buy your childhood. So appreciate the people in your childhood. And those are our fathers we're talking about today. You know, so, and for our mothers, please, don't badmouth the fathers to the children. Don't think by badmouthing your husband to the children, it will make the children take care of you and alienate their father. God can never bless you. The children may give you all the material things, but you will not be in good health. Money cannot buy good health. So I don't care if the father was a deadbeat dad. You don't need to say that to the children.
Right.
The ones that know, tell them to forgive their dad. Don't badmouth your husband or ex-husband or baby daddy to the children. Please don't do that. Niaso.
Thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Ogoji seems to be in and out. Maybe it's at the hospital, as usually sometimes happens. But all the same, yes, whatever we say, children, on your part, please be ready to listen to that adult who happens to tap you on the shoulder and say, oh, Peter, do this way rather than that way. Because some children are so naughty that they refuse a simple pat on the shoulder to say, we want you to do this because this is the way things are done. So children on their part should also learn to know that those mentors, those role models are there not for themselves. They made it to that stage. You have to also make it to that stage by growing up, following the steps that are prescribed to you. When you go to school, it is not to play. It is to play, yes, but to also learn. And if you are not learning and somebody pats you and say, oh, please do it this way, listen to that person, because that person is just trying to be of help, to encourage you, just an encourager, to make sure that you pick the rope and run with it and not hang yourself with it, but to tie something up that will be profitable to you tomorrow. Because the ideas adults are contributing to you, are giving to you, these are building blocks that are trying to provide you with so that you can build steps for yourself, you can build a life for yourself. But don't ignore the advice of adults or that male person who happens to be in your life. And please, mothers, don't turn away a former dad or divorced dad, because if you fall out with a man, his children are there, let him have an influence in the lives of their children. Even if they are drunks, they have a sober moment during which they give something profitable to the child. Don't turn them away. They need to know that there is a father figure in their life, a man who contributed to their being here. Reverend Pam.
Yeah, Dr. Ogoji is taking a call from the hospital. That's why his camera is off.
Okay.
And of course, the t-shirt I'm wearing, this was a t-shirt we made in 2015. We wore with another uniform. No, 2012. I'm sorry, 2012. My dad passed away December 1st, 2012. So that's a picture of my dad on the t-shirt. So I'm wearing it. I do have some of my dad's shirts that I do wear. I still keep them, and I'm gonna keep keeping them. I don't care if it bothers anybody. I'm gonna wear his clothes. That's my daddy. But I want to also say something to our fathers. It is okay for you to show your moments of weakness. Don't suffer in silence. A lot of the times, our brothers, our men, our fathers are going through a lot of things and they can't say it. Sometimes they go and get into debt because they want to please the mothers or the children. Don't do that. If your wife asks you for something or your child and you cannot afford it, be honest. Be forthright with them. Say, I'm sorry, I would have loved to get you this. Don't go and get yourself into debt. The next thing, you are going to depression or you end up being suicidal because of debt, drowning in debt. Don't do that, please. You are not God. Only God can provide everybody's needs. So on this Father's Day, I want to encourage all our fathers. I call this self-inflicted wounds. Don't inflict yourself with wounds. It can wait. Some of these things can wait. Material things can wait. So if there are things that are being demanded of you and you're not able to deliver, don't try to please people. Just be yourself. Just be yourself so you can live long, because the lifespan of our men is not that long. But in Psalms 91 verse 16, God promises us not long life. To me, 90 years old is premature death to me, let alone 70 or 80. So please, Niason, back to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Brother Alfred, I see he's trying to say something. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just following up with the young lady said, you know, sometimes we as fathers, or a lot of fathers, they try to please people with money, and it don't always take money. It takes more money. It takes you're giving your attention to the kids, and your knowledge and your know-how and your experience in life. That's how you can give that instead of more so than money. Give your love.
Indeed, give your love. And love, of course, is the foundation of everything. Love does not mean giving gifts. Love means accepting you as you are and advising you, giving you those words that will strengthen you, not weaken you. So that is what love is all about. Brother Ronald, sorry.
Yes. Yeah, I want to dovetail on what Reverend Pam was saying about monetary funds and how men use it to try to buy the love of their wife or of their children. I mean, she didn't exactly say that, but she was touching on it. And I was guilty of that. Whereas when I was working, I used to make a good amount of money. And every time I thought that in order to please the women I was dating or help friends, that I will always throw money in. And when I found out lately was that they wanted more than just the money. They wanted my attention. They wanted my love and know-how. And after I learned that, it was a big awakening for me. And now I got more money for myself.
Exactly.
But other than that, like Mia-san was saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And in that, a lot of children these days don't realize that when a stranger, well, not really a stranger, but a neighbor or a friend try to correct them when they're doing wrong, they get offended. But really, we was only trying to help them out and to show them the way to keep them out of trouble. And so once the children of these days get back into respecting adults and respecting their know-how, I think they will grow to be better persons in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, Brother Alfred?
Yeah, I just want to elaborate on what my brother said, and he knows what I'm talking about. The block we grew up on, the whole block raised me and my brothers and my sisters. If we did something wrong and a neighbor notices it, they would go tell our father or our mother right away. So that goes back to say that it takes a village to raise a child too.
Yes. It is very important because these days, because of city life, that doesn't happen anymore. Neighbors are neighbors, and you don't even see who the father is. Sometimes you meet and say hi, and that's all. And you don't get to know each other that close to entrust that person with your child. But in those days, though, I mean, some of us still regret those days, but then time passes and we have to move on. Because remember, in elementary school, you went to school and you met a father on the highway, I mean on the road, you greeted him, and he wanted to know who your dad was, who your family was, so that he will tomorrow be able to tell your dad, oh, I've met your son, he was doing this, a very good child. Because the children in those days, we go to school, we play, and we go home, but the fathers always came to look for us, to tell us, my son mentioned that you did so good for him, and he did so good for you. So the family was so close together, not because of blood, but just because we lived in the same neighborhood. We were able to be each other's, to look out for each other, to be each other's caretaker, to make sure that we did as good for the one as we did for the other. And we never ignored somebody because of their skin color or because of their different accent, which was rare in a way in those days. But then we learned to accept whoever we met as another human being. We didn't see anybody that passed through our compound as some stranger. We trusted them as people of the same, with the same blood running through their veins. We have water to give them, they drank the water. If we had anything to eat, we gave them to eat, and so on. Life was so good. But going back to our topic, fathers have to teach their children how to behave towards other people in the community, because you don't tell people to ignore, you don't tell the children to ignore people for ignoring sake, especially if you happen to live in the same community. Just accept people. I know that out here, because of modernity, if I can call it that way, things don't happen the same like they used to happen in our days. But these days, we can still do a lot of good to children by teaching children the best ways to go. And I see Dr. Ogoji coming back. So we stick on the topic of Father's Day and being role models to the children. We're talking about taking the village being the community that raises the child. We already talked about that. If there are concrete examples, no problem. If there are none, playing the role of role model in the lives of children, and of course, emphasizing the need for those husbands who have abandoned their wives or whose wives have abandoned them to consider them still as part of the family, so that together we mold the child as father and mother, so that they grow up to know that it takes a man and a woman to raise a child. Dr. Ogoji. You're muted.
Yeah, he was taking a call. I don't know if
yes, when he came back on, okay, I thought you had dropped the call.
No, I didn't listen. I didn't hear what you were saying. Sorry. Just.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just emphasizing the point that we raised already, the role of a divorced parent, a father in the life of the child, the role of a role model in the community, what it takes in the community to provide help and assistance and support to the children. So children know that it takes a man and a woman to mold a whole child.
Yeah, I cannot agree. I agree with you 100%, you know. So when adults do their fights, husband and wife, the children should never be part of it.
Exactly.
So trust me, when you grow up and tell a kid, your father is this, that useless man, that idiot, you tell him that half of his gene is useless.
They don't look at it that way.
So, I remember one guy who told the husband that your mother is a witch, and she meant it. The guy told the wife, yes, my mother is a witch, and I'm a witch too. The witch. Our children are all witches. She said, I reject it. I said, the guy said, reject more. As long as my mother is a witch, I'm a witch. Your wife is a witch. Our children are all witches. She said, so basically, you don't get your children involved in things like this.
Exactly.
You say, your dad is a nice man. He treat me wrong. I don't get along with you anymore. But he said that, go hang out with him.
Exactly.
And vice versa. Oh, unfortunately, me and mother were no longer together. It doesn't mean that I don't care about her. We are still family. After all, we can be family with people that we don't know.
Exactly.
How much more somebody that you guys actually had kids together?
Exactly.
So that means that at one point in time, she was the best woman on earth. Or the best
she was your oxygen.
The oxygen. So
a good way.
So always tell the children, me and your dad or me and mom, we're not we're not getting along very well, but we are always here together to make sure that you get the best of both parents.
Yeah.
Doctor,
So-
she was a good witch, right?
If ever there are good witches.
Or good witches and bad witches.
That it is a shame because some women and some men use the children as weapons. Women do that more than men, as weapons against the man, and that's not good for the children at all.
Like
But
a pawn.
we are at the top of the hour, so I'm gonna play. Ambassador Lisa is not able to make it today. We're gonna play our anthem. We own full rights to this song, and let's see here. Let's play our anthem, and everybody can take a sip of water.
Oh, Africa. Oh no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. Only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's say Africa. Let us all unite behind Africaonline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africaonline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone, if we believe. Prosperity for Africans, if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Online Media Corporation. That's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Africa is a cradle of civilization. The motherland. Stand up, Africans. For Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans. Let's see Africa. Jump on the Africaonline miracle jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans. For Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans. Let's see Africa. We are writing our own story. The truth and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans. For Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. I think my system is a bit slow. What are you guys saying? I'm trying to stop sharing. Okay.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah, done.
Yes, this Father's Day is, with it falling on June 10th, it's a double celebration for our father. So before I announce the next topic, I really want to do a shout out to this special man. He's a brother, he's a friend. He just got inducted in the Songwriters Hall of Fame on Thursday. I wasn't able to make it, but I want to do a shout out to, we call him Brother Mickey. He's known as Sir William Mickey Stevenson, Motown first A&R man, America's first A&R man. Brother Mickey, we love you. We appreciate you. We were with him in April. We had a blast in LA. Brother Mickey, you rock. At 85, you do things that 40-year-old men cannot do. So I want to do a shout out to you today, because you are my special friend. You are a part of Africa's Brain Bank, and we'll be seeing you in October, live in October in Atlanta. Congratulations on your induction. That induction was supposed to happen 2 years ago, but because of the pandemic, it was postponed to this Thursday. Congratulations again, Brother Mickey, and of course, my beautiful and beloved sister, Michelle Stevenson. You rock, girl. All right, next week, we're going to be talking, we are going to bring a sister on the show to talk to our brothers about their nutrition. Last year, we had an amazing time with His Royal Highness Chief Fomunung, who is a globally renowned urologist out of Europe, But this year we decided that he talked about prostate health for the men. The show was so amazing. We had to extend the show. This year we decided that let's bring a sister to talk to our brothers about nutrition. We know on the continent in particular, we have a lot of men with pot bellies. I don't know if the Potbelly restaurant was named after them or what, but to some of them, they think it's pride. They think it's evidence of brother Islamic, evidence of wealth or good living. No, it's not. And a lot of it is because of alcohol, and I'm not against anybody who wants to drink alcohol. I don't drink it, I don't serve it. But so she's going to be talking to our brothers about nutrition. Her name is Dr. Philomena Gwanfobe. So she'll be here next Sunday. She also has a book. We'll try to get out a flyer. I just received her headshots today. So the flyer had not been, we couldn't have done the flyer without a headshot. So we're going to be hearing from her. I want to encourage all our brothers to zoom in and hear from a sister who is qualified to talk to you about health. We bring qualified people here. It's good to hear from a sister who eats the kind of food that you eat, who grew up in the same kind of environment that you grew up in, who faces the same kind of challenges that you face in life, and who knows what, poor nutrition can do to our bodies. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. Also, Ambassador Lisa is not here, but we have the Operation Borehole 55, which is ongoing. The borehole has been sunk in Sierra Leone, in the Karene district. They are planning a ribbon cutting. We also have solar power there. So the maternity has been electrified with the power from the solar panels. So because of what happened in Sierra Leone, every solar powered borehole we put in any healthcare facility, we're also going to electrify the rooms. We are going to do that. This contractor, let me wish him happy Father's Day. His name is Mr. Thomas Brima of Sierra Leone. Brother Thomas, happy Father's Day, and thank you so much for, basically, you're not getting paid for this. You waive your fees to accommodate the money that we raised, because this was supposed to cost a minimum of 22,000. But you were on the fundraiser show, and you decided to just do this for the cost of the event. But by God's grace, the next one in Kenya, we're going to be able to pay you. And he has also agreed to oversee all our borehole projects in the entire continent, all 55 nations. So we know we have somebody who is qualified to do this, who has the wherewithal to do this, who is going to be sinking the boreholes, in each of the African nations. And the next one is going to be in Kenya. Ambassador Lisa is in charge of that production of the next fundraiser, which will be in September. I asked Dr. Ogoji to be the keynote speaker, because nobody is better prepared to deliver this. He is part of this borehole. He contributed big time to this borehole. He's practiced on the continent. He's practiced without light, without water. So he's not coming just as a doctor or as an OBGYN. He knows what it means for women to deliver without water, to deliver without lights. So it's going to be phenomenal. We want to encourage everybody to zoom in. We are doing this one borehole at a time, and we are going to complete it in our lifetime. We are believing God for some big time sponsors, so we can do multiple in 1 year, that we're already making a difference. The borehole in Sierra Leone is helping 30,000 people. The catchment population there, the household is 6,000 households. So in addition to the clinic, the villagers are getting access to the water, this external tap. And we have those pictures. We're just waiting for a proper video. There's a video that was done, but the proper credits were not apportioned. Just partial credit were apportioned, so we cannot use that. Again, these are videos that were done specifically for Africaonline Media Corporation's Operation Borehole 55. And we want to thank our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, for implementing this project on our behalf at no cost to us. Africa's Brain Bank did not charge Africaonline for implementing this project. Africaonline does not have boots on the ground. Africa's Brain Bank does. Even all the volunteers, the people that made this happen, they're all a part of Africa's Brain Bank. So we are blessed to have Africa's Brain Bank as a sister organization. So before I hand over real quick for Niasong, I know you have to run. Niasong, let me hand over to you. After you leave, I will say what I need to say. But Dr. Ogoji, Brother Rana, and myself are going to complete the show.
OK, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup pour notre opération de l'eau potable dans les divers pays africains. Nous avons Operation Borehole 55. Operation Borehole 55, comme vous le savez, l'eau c'est la vie. On avait déjà commencé au Sierra Leone. On a creusé, déjà le puits d'eau au Sierra Leone, ça fonctionne. On a même électrifié le centre de développement, le centre de santé de développer de Coin. Ça bénéficie déjà le village de 6 000 personnes avec une population extensive de 30 000 personnes. Et nous avons, comme d'habitude, l'intention de continuer, surtout avec le Kenya sur la liste. Et il y a 55 pays. Il faut construire ces points d'eau dans les divers pays africains. Et nous sollicitons votre assistance financière pour qu'on puisse creuser ce puits d'eau dans les divers pays africains. Merci beaucoup, merci beaucoup. N'hésitez pas, notre site web c'est www.africaonlinetv.org et vous mettez votre contribution à côté. Tout est taxe déductible, tout sera comptabilisé et vous pouvez compter sur nous. Nous sommes là pour vous. Vous êtes là pour nous. Merci beaucoup. Et pour la semaine prochaine, dimanche prochain, on peut déjà vous confirmer que notre sujet de la semaine prochaine sera les hommes et la nutrition. Parce que les hommes croient qu'ils peuvent manger n'importe quoi, mais il y a un nutritionniste qui viendra nous encourager de bien manger pour qu'on puisse avoir moins de ventre gros ou gros ventre, mais le petit ventre pour qu'on puisse rester en santé. Thank you very much. And yes, as the CEO has just said, Reverend Pam, I have to go. It's Father's Day. The family is pulling me, and I have to be with you next Sunday. Thank you all very much, Brother Ronald. Thank you, Dr. Goji. It's a pleasure, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Happy Father's Day. Don't eat
Happy
anyhow.
Father's Day.
Thank you.
If you do, I'll report it to Dr. Gwanfobe.
I know.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, before I go to Dr. Ogoji, I wanted to just say this. Our fathers, take time to introduce yourself to your children. Let them not just know you as the person that pays the bills or mommy's husband. Tell them about your childhood, how you grew up. If you grew up poor, don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. You may be a very wealthy man today, but that's not how you started. Don't be ashamed of your past. Don't forget the days of small beginnings. There are men and women do this too that are so embarrassed about where they come from or the kind of household they grew up in. They will not even tell their children. Don't be embarrassed. You are who you are today because of where you came from. So tell your children about I remember my dad used to tell us stories in Nigeria. He went to school in Lagos and he worked in Nigeria for 20 years. My sister was born in Enugu. My dad used to tell us stories, in Nigeria. He used to tell us stories. I remember he told us one of these stories where he just got married and, his boss sent him to Nigeria to go arrest a criminal, and they had to come by boat. And, and he went there. Back then there were no hotels. He ended up having to spend the night in the house of the family members of the criminal. And he was talk about diplomacy. He talked to the family and let them know that he was going to plead with the judge, because back then police officers were also trained as prosecutors, so that he will plead with the judge, to tender justice with mercy, and for you to be able to sleep in the house of the person that you are going to go arrest and take to another country. That was divine favor. But my dad told us, and that on their way back, the canoe capsized, and that the criminal could have run away, but the criminal was the one that swam back in the morning to go get my dad's suitcase. He did not run away. And so when they came in court, my dad actually pleaded with the magistrate to give the guy a reduced sentence. So tell your children about your life. Tell them, how you grew up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy to tell them. Maybe they actually figure out how you grew up. They will not be so demanding. They will not be expecting a new iPhone every year from you. Dr. Ogoji.
Hello. Yeah. So, it's important, history is history. In life, without history, there's no future.
Yes.
So, if you can go back from your humble beginning and let your children know what happened and what the various stages of your life and how you find yourself where you are, that's a big lesson for them.
Yeah.
Because even if you're a wealthy man today, for your children, they are still going to start their own life and live their life.
Yes.
So they must know how to start their life and live their life, and tell them stories. And you always tell them stories that is all about what you do for yourself and how you impact people around you. And not only stories, you try and live by the stories what you tell them. If a child that grows up knows that my dad is a very, very lovely guy, he welcomes everybody at home, has a lot of friends, comes around, he's generous, and generous people around, he or she will learn that while growing up. In that way, we build a better society. Trust me, we can talk about country, our home, our universe. If every family is working well in their difficulties, in that way, fathers be a dad in your family, and mothers be a mom, and children be children, and despite disagreement, please, you work together and result things. That's called negotiation at a micro level.
Yes.
If the family can function well, we have a better society.
Yes.
So the ills of society is because fathers didn't tell their children what they should tell them.
Yes.
They didn't pass on what is supposed to pass on to their children. That's why I say a young man will get up tomorrow and take a gun and go shoot other kids.
I'm telling you.
So, people say it's mental health. Mental health is part of it, don't get me wrong. But mental health can be cured with counseling. What is counseling? We parents, both mom and dad, are the first counselors of our children.
Yes.
So what we teach them it's like a printed document in their brain. And they grow with that. So we have to find a way to really make an impact on our children's life. And fathers, today is Father's Day. If fathers don't play enough role in our life usually. Men leave everything to the women. That's wrong. You must find a way to get involved. Force yourself into their life. Force yourself. Make them know who you are. So that they can go and quote, oh, my father says this. I mean, I quote my grandfather all the time. I say my grandfather told me, I tell my kids, my grandfather said this, my grandfather said this, I say it. Gone are those days. In fact, those days will grow up. But remember, we have story time in the evening. My parents will sit down and tell us stories.
Yeah, oh yeah, evening time. That's when my dad told us all these stories.
Yes. They talk about stories, about all those things now. Those things are absent now. I don't know why.
They are missing.
They are missing. So we have to go by a way, find a way to go back to your kids' life, take off those computers for a couple of hours a day.
Drop the phones.
Deal with them. Off the phones. So you just have to get up and get involved. Your kids have to know, you have to know your children. Otherwise, you will be living with strangers, calling them your kids.
That's true. And before we go to Brother Ronald, you know, Dr. Goji, that used to happen after dinner. You know, before bed, my dad would gather us in the living room. I mean, we would tell stories. Sometimes we'd sit on the balcony, you know, and would tell us all the stories, and we would laugh and we'll ask him questions. And oh my God, you know, you tell us stories about their ballroom dance. My mom, how they used to win awards and all those things. And, you know, they hand down those things. And the thing is that these days, how many family members have dinner together as a family? I spent some time in Michigan, and one thing I admire in one of my brother's homes, they eat dinner as a family 6 days a week, as a family. Even, you know, our kids, they like junk food, but even if you don't want to eat, you have to sit there, you know? That's something that is really missing. Everybody's busy, everybody's on the go, you know, they don't sit. A lot of things happen. That's why when people are campaigning in political arenas, they say table talk, kitchen table talk. You know, because when people are eating, you know, you're not supposed to talk while you're eating, but there are conversations that happen at the dinner table after dinner. You know, people don't just rush off the table when they're done. They sit and relax, or they go to the living room, and all that is missing. You know, so hopefully, you know, those things will come back. But let's hear what Brother Ronald has to say.
Yes, I agree with both of you. A family that comes together at dinner stays together and prays together. Mm-hmm. And when I was growing up with my brother and my two sisters and my other three brothers, we used to have family dinners together, and especially a big dinner on Sundays. Because they had a movie about it called Family. It was a family get together. I forget the name of the movie, but they had a movie about that. And what it was that on Sundays, the family get together, sit down at a big meal, and afterwards talk about things, and sometimes even play games together. And we used to do that. But other than that, yes, a family that has them together stays together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a movie called Family That Prays. Yeah, prays together, stays together. I don't know if it's the movie, but that's fine. They're not sponsoring the show, but we get the point. The point is, do things. And if you're going to spend time to bring children into this world, spend time to guide them. Spend time with them. Sometimes some of these children, they go astray because you don't spend time with them. They just want to hang out with the gangs because the gang members spend time with them. If you spend time with them, they will not look for it outside. So spend time with your children. I'm not saying every child that hangs out with a gang is because the father did not. We have fathers that are in the house, either they're on Facebook or WhatsApp, and their children are doing drugs or talking to a pedophile on the internet, and they don't know, in the same roof, under the same roof. But I want to say this thing, mental health is a serious business. We have several mental health practitioners in my family, including a psychiatrist. So I know it's serious. Thank God we don't have any mental health issues in my family. I don't know anybody personally that has mental health issues. But in Africa, there are so many mentally deranged people, mentally ill people. There are people with mental health issues. We call them Chris man or Chris woman. Dr. Ogoji, how many times did a mentally ill person attack another person in Africa?
I can't remember.
Even these mental people, instead, it was other people that attacked them. They throw things at them. The mental people don't attack people. So I don't understand what they're talking about. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I think some people are using it as an excuse, to go and kill people. We have so many, I'm talking about people who even walk naked, who eat out of garbage cans. Okay, these ones that are killing people, did they eat out of garbage cans? Are they walking out naked? So how come the mentally ill people on the continent don't hurt people? Mental illness is mental illness. We all have the same brains. I mean, Dr. Ogoji, help me. I'm not saying that in some cases, because some people hear voices, these voices say, how come the voices are only telling them to go and kill? How come the voices cannot tell them to go and mow somebody's lawn, or to go and take out somebody's trash, or to go and help somebody? Why are those voices always telling them to go and help people? Don't get me wrong. There are some people that, yes, they heard these voices and they told them to go and harm people. But I'm just saying, if it's mental illness, can somebody explain why the mentally ill people in Africa don't hurt people?
They don't hurt people?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, are you saying, Reverend Pam, that most of the ill people in Africa do not hurt people?
They do
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They move around the street naked. They're not on medication, no drugs. They do their stuff, eat from the garbage can. They see you, give them food, they say thank you, and they go away. In fact,
If you give them food, they'll keep coming back to that spot to get more food. But they don't hurt anybody, they don't hit anybody, they don't attack people.
I actually have in my family, one of my uncle, his wife, younger brother is mentally ill. He walks around naked to the street every time, not with dirty clothes, but every day in the afternoon, he comes to his sister's house and eat lunch and go home. So that's a good observation. I don't know why. So the act of killing is something people learn from. Maybe it's a movie, the shooting they watch on the TV. I don't know how to explain that.
Maybe it's the environment or the society. I want to know the answer to that question. I think we're going to do a show about that. And I'm going to get Dr. What's his name now? Dr. Nicholas Santos to come here and tell, because he's an African too. Because this is not just in Cameroon, in Nigeria, other African countries. I mean, the mad people, they don't hurt people.
They don't. That's true. I've just opened my eye. That's true. Killing somebody, I mean, until recently in Africa, where because of certain thing, killing human being is considered as human life considered sacred.
Yes.
That if you just kill anybody, forget about the witchcraft. They talk about witchcraft and point. Those are all psychological things generally. But go gun somebody down, and kids, in fourth graders, fifth graders in school.
Yeah, what did they do to you?
You can't justify that. Even mental cannot justify that. Anyway, don't get me going.
But that's what I'm saying. Mental illness is real, but we need to figure this out. Maybe there's something that the West can learn from Africa.
Yeah, right.
Because like Dr. Goji said, these people, they're not even treated. Their mental illness is not even being managed. They're not even on medication. I know that there are medications that even aggravate mental illness. Medications used for mental illness aggravates. That's one of the side effects. I know that as a pharmacist. There are a lot of medication. I don't want to call any of those medications because I'm not interested in. I'm not trying here to badmouth a big pharma or any drug manufacturer. There are medications used for depression, anxiety, psychosis. Schizophrenia. All this. Their side effects. Actually, some of them, their side effects are worse than the disease that they are trying to treat. But these people don't hurt people. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. Happy Father's Day again, Dr. Ogoji. Thank you so much for your faithfulness. You rock. Africaonline is blessed to have you. Africa's Brain Bar is blessed to have you. Thank you for all your contribution to this show. You don't just contribute medically, you contribute to every topic, and your contributions are very sound and life transforming. Thank you so much. I know your babies and your wives, they were going to spoil you today. Happy Father's Day. Brother Ronald, thank you so much for every child whose life you have impacted. Thank you for joining Africaonline Media Corporation. And thank you for inviting your brother to the show today. I wish everybody a wonderful Father's Day and happy Juneteenth to all our people. The day to let me personally, and on behalf of Africaonline Media Corporation, thank all our African American brothers and sisters for enduring the hardships in this country and for making a way, for paving the way for us who were born in Africa to join them in the diaspora. You are our modern day Josephs. Thank you so much and God bless.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.